Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg is a New York Times bestselling author, actress, and television host known for her humor, honesty, and passion for family life. A proud mom herself, she's been a longtime advocate for open conversations about parenting, health, and the challenges of raising kids today. In this episode, Jenny joins us to talk about technology, connection, and what it really means to protect and empower kids in the digital age. Jenny, it is so cool to be with you in person.
Thank you.
It was an honor to be a guest on your radio show. I would travel to New York and I was always like, I'm going to meet Jenny. But it was like, oh, she's dialing in. I'm like, oh, still as cool, but like it'd be way cooler. And now we finally get to meet each other.
Great to see you.
In real life. Yeah.
I love it too.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So, but today is not about Titania fangirling over Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg. Today is about, keeping kids safer online, how you parent, how you parented, and gosh, your influence, your voice, I think after we wrap today is really going to help to continue to save children's lives.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That is my goal.
So you have one son, Evan. We've talked about him before. I can't imagine now that he's 23, the things you've had to go through, not only raising a child with autism, but also with all this tech.
Right. It has been definitely a journey, which is why I said, you know what? I think I need to come out publicly and let parents know, especially for the autism community, any special needs community. By the way, kids in general are vulnerable.
Yes.
They're a vulnerable group. But then you add special needs on top of it, and they are just their flags are waving, like, take advantage of me. And I've seen it time and time again with parents that have come up to me. I've toured the country giving so many hundreds of keynote speeches, talking to parents one-on-one. And one of the biggest things they talk about is how scared they are to let their children dive into social media. But, and this is where my struggle was too, we want them to be social. So this is a weird juxtaposition of having the need of wanting them to go and explore the world, but so scared because you just want to keep them in a bubble. And that's why back in my time, when Evan was 10 years old is when he approached me and said, I want to get on YouTube. And I was like, oh my gosh, we didn't have the controls that we have now. Bark was not available when Evan was 10 years old. It was a little bit after, but in the beginning, all I had was the parental controls on YouTube. And I immediately, when he said he wanted to go on it, I was like, okay, because this is what, mind you, he wanted to do for a living.
Of course.
He wanted to be a content creator, which now he is. So back then I knew I had to support him, but being the helicopter mom that I was back then, I was like, well, nothing's going to get past me. Little did I know, a lot got past me because the YouTube controls and a lot of these parental controls, they do not guard much of anything. So I had the parental controls on full speed, okay, the full blown for YouTube. And I'd be walking past this room and I'm like, why do Batman and Robin sound like they're doing adult things right now? What is going on with these superheroes? This sounds like a late night talk show.
Right.
Because things were getting through even on YouTube that were talking and being way more plus 18. So I learned then, okay, until there are better safeguards, you have to watch it in the same room as me. But then a few years down the line, Bark became available, the Bark app. The Bark app is such a game changer. This is something that I will die on this hill.
Please don't die.
To families everywhere, because without it, specifically Bark app and what they've done, I think a lot of parents would be screwed, and they are screwed if they don't know about it, because I'm still surprised that a lot of people don't know about Bark app, and especially the Bark phone that's available. The Bark phone, when I found out about the parental controls, how it gives children independence, that as soon as they ask for a phone, especially between the ages, I think all the way up until 15 is a really good age to get them the Bark phone, because you are getting direct notifications as to bullying or violence happening. But I also love that it gives the children still independence, because it doesn't give you access to every single message that comes in. And that to me is really important, because at that age, even when we wanted our independence, and that's how we have our autonomy. We
Yes.
need that in order to grow. So I love the fact that Bark figured out how to only alert the parent with those specific messages. I didn't have the phone back then, but the app was wonderful.
Amazing.
Was wonderful for us. Now, let me move into a little bit of dangers,
Please.
if you will, because even with that, Evan wanted to get on Snapchat as he started dating. And this is when I had to going, okay, this is an age where I have to let him fly. Fly out of the nest, you know what I mean? And see kind of what happens, but be there for him. Snapchat, immediately. Catfish, 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 catfish.
Oh, no.
Scary, scary predators immediately. Now, one thing that Bark gave me was the time to educate my son.
Yeah.
The time, all those years while he was kind of being protected, I sat down with him and explained to him, even using my own social media, let's take a look at some of these comments. Let's take a look at some of the haters. Look at some of my DMs, see how people are talking to me. Watch how I respond. This is how I emotionally deal with it. This is how I spiritually deal with it. It was a wonderful growth session that I was able to have from the time he was 10 until the time he was 16, and I let him fly. Now he's 23, and having those safeguards and protection and the time to learn how to deal with the digital space correctly made all the difference in the world. I feel like my son could be an ambassador, actually, for this space now, because he helps other kids. He helps other kids in the community deal with bullying, how to have that safe space. He's got his own YouTube page. He's got 40,000 subscribers. Yes. He's got 85,000 on social media, and he does it correctly. If you look on his page, you will see how he handles people and how he navigates the world of digital social media. And I have no doubt it's because of the safeguards I put in through Bark that allowed me that time to give him the education he needs to navigate this space.
I imagine, given your candor and relatability, you've talked to him about all the things, everything online safety wise. You just went through it. Was there anything that didn't land with him, or he heard you, but he was like, I don't believe you? Because with my son, who's almost 17, he was like, yeah, I get it, online safety, mom, but that's never going to happen to me.
100% this happened to me, especially with the catfishing.
Yeah.
I said, listen, I promise you, it is going to happen to you. It's a guaranteed thing that's going to happen to you. I went a step further. Before I even let him go, I went and signed on and made my own social media page, pretended to be his age, went out in the world to see who was replying back to me. Ooh. And I was getting catfished. I was seeing, but I was also catfishing people a little bit. But I wanted to see if they were coming back, and there were pedophiles. There were people that I reported that were coming after. So when I went to Evan and said, listen, this is 100% going to happen to you. And I want you to do one thing, just in the beginning. I want you to come to me with every single post. Now, this might sound crazy to a teenager and be like, are you crazy? I'm not showing you anything. But because I had the time and the education to sit down and teach him all of those years, he trusted me. He trusted me to come to me and say, okay, I've been talking to this girl and she wants to get together. And I said, perfect. Now he's like, can you take a look at the page and see if it's panning out?
Wow.
And it didn't.
Right.
And when he found out, when I showed him the links of how it didn't correlate to the truth, he was blown away and literally came to me from that day on. And then, of course, met some wonderful people.
Right.
But still, he knew now, okay, I have to trust mom because I witnessed it happening for myself. It almost takes, sadly, that, which is why you need to work so hard while they're in those vulnerable ages, because they don't know any different. They really don't know. Sometimes Evan was being asked for money. Ugh. He was asked numerous times to be sent money for, people's stories. And my son is so empathetic. A lot of these special needs kids are very empathetic. So he was like, well, why don't you come to my house and I'll give you my old iPhone? He was just offering too much. So that's why I said those years of slowing down their freedom on the digital space is so important. Again, you're still giving them freedom.
Right.
You're just monitoring it. There's a big difference between spying and monitoring also, by the way, because I don't want to spy. I never wanted to spy because, like I said, children need that time to grow independently. But my analogy would be like this. If you don't monitor, the perfect analogy is you taking your 10, 11, or 12-year-old, going to a downtown city, dropping them off on a block that you don't really know, visited. Heck, you don't even know that city. And you leave them there around midnight. Good luck. That is my analogy. If you let your kids out into that digital world on their own, what's going to happen to your child? Predator's going to approach. Pedophile. Worse.
Violence, sexual content.
Exactly right.
Disordered eating related content, mental health spirals. Like, it's the worst of the worst.
And then you go pick them up later and you expect them to be like, hi.
Hi.
And they're like, what happened? It's like, oh, well, Mom, Dad, you are supposed to be that guardian angel. You are supposed to be that protector right now.
Yeah.
So by putting the safeguards in those neighborhoods, in that digital world, you're allowing them to have the fun of social media without the scare.
Oh my gosh. It's like you're reading my mind and speaking what we have been preaching for over a decade. I'm so thankful that you are educated, passionate, vocal, and outspoken about this because it's so important.
So important.
Our children are spending upwards of 8 hours a day with connected tech, and we have, as Jonathan Haidt says, overprotected them in the real world, but underprotected them online.
That statement isn't more true. It's so unbelievably. I want that on billboards.
Yeah, no, totally. It's I have chills still, and it resonates through my head. I'm exhaustively out there sharing as much as I can about this, but a lot of times people need to hear it from other people, including amazing people like you. So what advice would you give parents who have younger kids and are contemplating a smartphone, a smartwatch, a gaming console, social media? And while you think about that answer, I wanted to say, as you were discussing some of the encounters that Evan had, I wish the Bark phone was available too, because the Bark phone doesn't even allow a child to take a nude photo or video, which can stop sextortion and sexting, before it can even become a thing. So to your point, a lot of people don't even know about the Bark app or phone or watch yet. And this is why your kid's first device doesn't need to be Apple. Apple's great for adults. I've got my phone right here because it's my third arm. But I'm not 13.
Right. Exactly. What I would say for any parent that their child is interested in starting to get into that digital space is start with the Bark Watch. Ooh. The Bark Watch is brand new, and it allows, you to text message the people you want to, AM, PM, mom, dad.
Right.
I think it's a great beginner into that space, because if you think, well, my child might lose the phone, I don't want to spend the money on the phone, but they want to get into that space. This is the Bark Watch is the perfect place to start. Then, if you don't want to get the phone, you can get the app. But I highly, highly suggest getting that Bark phone. There is nothing like it. You guys, it is a phone all in one. It's iPhone, it's Android.
Yes.
And it literally has all of the controls that you would possibly dream of and want for a parent.
Yeah.
Everything. The fact that if you take a video, like the child takes a video and the friends are like wrestling, that might get message to the parent saying there's violence happening, even though there's only a play fight. But it goes to show you, it's letting you know that your child is seeing something that could be violent or bullying.
Yeah.
And again, it's not spying, it's monitoring, because even all their text messages, all their messages, all of them don't come through to the parent, only the ones that are flagged. To me, this is essential. This should be the only phone allowed to kids up until they're 15, 16. I'm saying it out loud, people. The Bark phone should be the only phone that kids use.
I agree. Very much so. One of my favorite features about the Bark phone, in addition to like not allowing children to take child sexual abuse material, is the fact that as a parent, you can remotely turn things on and off. Like sleepovers are where a lot of problems happen. And like from my Apple iPhone, I can turn off the camera to my child's Bark phone. So we're not even going to do that right now. Wow. I mean, we've really thought about everything that a parent would need to be able to do seamlessly so a kid can have tech, text mom or dad can have their location, but like not be all up in their business.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I think it's just absolutely brilliant. I only wish I had it when,
I know.
But you know, this is why I have a big mouth and I'm willing to share it and let other parents know. Get the Bark phone if you have a young one.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Jenny. We, every day we are sending alerts to parents about some serious stuff, whether it's severe suicidal ideation, cutting, predation, bullying, disordered eating related issues. There's a lot coming at our children now because of this unprecedented access. And I wish that we didn't even have to exist as a company, but I'm so grateful that we do. And you see me on camera, but there's a team of 100 people behind the scenes making this all happen.
I do feel like you guys are doing God's work, honestly. Well, this is anything that makes the world a better place, that helps and saves humanity, and like sign me up. I just need the world to know about it, honestly. And you're right about mental illness, if you don't mind me jumping in.
Please.
If I had to grow up in the digital space as a teenager, there's no way I'd be where I'm at today. There's 100%. Not a chance. Is it any surprise that our youth is suffering from so many mental illnesses? No. The bullying. I'm 53 and the bullying still hurts. Okay, can you imagine being a vulnerable 13-year-old girl that's trying to compete with what they're being shown in the digital space? Girls can be really tough. I mean, I'm watching it amongst my son's friends that are girls of how, honestly, cruel and catty a lot of the girls can use words. Boys use fists, girls tend to use words. And it's scary. It's a very, very scary place. That's why we are parents for a reason. You have to use that tool set. You have to go in and say, how can I be a better mom? Just because we didn't grow up in this digital space doesn't mean that I don't know what it's like. No, we have to be the parents. We have to be the mom and dad and put those safeguards in, because you don't want your child to be bullied. You don't want your child to be a statistic in suicide. It's time for us to act right now to kind of change and help this next generation.
I wholeheartedly agree. And the bullying in particular, especially with girls, is subtle in ways that if you are not on these platforms, you might not realize. For example, with Snapchat, everybody will like go to Starbucks or a coffee shop and then turn their location off because they don't want the other people to show up and know where they are.
Right.
So it's exclusion, it's omission.
That's
it's
right.
very subtle and heartbreaking. The algorithms, especially, TikTok and Instagram, if you have shown a propensity to be interested in weight loss or how to get rid of cellulite or anything like that, calorie restriction, that algorithm is going to send you even more of that content and can push a child who's potentially curious into a child with a disorder.
That's right. Or introduce sex to them too early.
Oh my gosh.
Even now that Evan is 23, I am shocked, and I'll be blunt about this, by the amount of nudity when I started giving him his independence, and he still comes to me, from girls that are young, that are 18, 19, that are sending nudes that they haven't even met in person yet.
Like what?
Yes, it's happening. I know people hear about this as rumors and stories or in movies. No, it's facts. I'm witnessing it. It takes everything in me not to text the parent saying, "What are you doing?"
I know.
I taught Evan from an early age. I'm like, if you participate, it will live on the internet forever. Forever. You already don't like that there's some pictures of you on the internet from me dragging you on red carpets. Can you imagine, Evan, certain parts being there forever? So of course I got the big eyes. The communication is so important.
Yes.
So important. That's why I said, give yourself those years. Slow down the acceleration of aging in the digital space by using Bark to give you that time to have those important talks with your kids.
Yeah, slow your roll.
Slow your roll.
You will not regret delaying access. And then when it is time, pick safer tech.
That's exactly right.
What are some of the pitfalls that you have personally experienced with tech and social media? Because can we just talk about how when we were born, we didn't have all this tech, right?
No.
We grew up when all of a sudden smartphones, email, you can now stream shows on your phone.
Right.
This thing makes me feel like Inspector Gadget or
Right.
James Bond, It's wild.
Yeah. For me, having also ADHD, I'm kind of like, oh my God. There's just so much of it.
So much.
But it's also been scary personally for myself. I've had stalkers. I've had hackers. I've had the FBI show up at my house talking about people that have hacked into my own iCloud. I've gone through it. So I'm not coming into this naive.
Right.
I am a victim of it myself. So that's why I'm even more excited about opportunities to talk about it and to educate parents on it, because I know too well what it feels like to be violated. My ex-husband, my son's dad, he is 52 or 53 now, and he recently got his Instagram page taken away, hijacked, gone. He succumbed to a DM that said, "Hey buddy, it's Tom." And it came from his friend Tom's page and said, "Hey, you know what? I just made a deal with this quick money thing where if you send $800, I just made $3,000. I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Back up.
You know how much that I have discussed and taught Evan this. How did he goes, Jenny, I cannot even believe that I fell victim to it. And so older people are not immune to this.
No.
He literally got sucked in, lost $800 and his page. His page, that scammer has his page to DM his friends,
Right,
to say, hey, send in the money. So it's happened all around us. So that's why I'm like, you know what, people? Be very, very careful, because it can happen to you too.
100%. On the flip side, because tech is neither bad nor good, it's a tool, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What are some of the positives that you have personally experienced with tech and social media? I mean,
Yes.
Back in the day, to build your brand, you would have 3 television channels,
That's
right?
it.
And then a newspaper.
Yeah, so it makes myself a little prouder. I had to make it with only a few cable
I
channels.
know, yeah.
I did not have social media when I first became famous. It wasn't until later. But I, of course, see the positives in social media. There's good and bad in everything. There's also too much of one thing is too bad. But I will say this. It's beautiful. Social media is beautiful, not only for promotion, of course, but for connection.
Yeah.
There is a beauty in it. Look at how much we've learned. Look how much we've grown in society.
Yeah.
Look how much we've educated ourselves in truths that were coming out that maybe were being gatekept
Yes.
by the media.
Right.
So there is a absolute, I think, accelerated ascension because of social media and the internet and the digital space. So will forever be grateful for it. But like anything, there's a seedy side to it that we have to be really cautious about. But especially in the autism community and the special needs community, we need this. We need our kids to socialize.
Yes.
One of the things too is playing video games. You're talking to strangers playing video games, but there is a community in that as well. So that's where, I would sit next to Evan and monitor everyone talking, because I just was too scared, because it's a live interaction. But it was also really good for him. He did make positive connections through that. So I want to be able to give especially our community that freedom as well, and tell parents this is very important. I don't want you to just hold your kid back and helicopter your way through till they get to become an adult. This is an important part of their growing, being social. And so I'm grateful for the digital space for that reason.
How much time would you say you spent personally on digital devices? Do you work hard to try to detox, and just any sort of personal anecdotes you have?
I am guilty of not being able to detox from social media. But what I use on social media, I think is really rewarding. I do Bible study. I do a lot of beautiful things that help lift my soul. So it's not all, there's not a lot of doom scrolling,
Right.
if you will.
Right.
The pages that I follow are very inspiring. I'm a person that loves knowledge. So I'm like, I need takeaway. If I'm going to follow you, I need a piece of something that's going to better my life. So a lot of my pages are about that. And of course I have funny babies giggling, so I make sure that my world and my bubble is protected. What I do have to watch out is for scammers, for hackers, and of course still bullies at my age. Yeah, it happens.
It does happen. And it's hard whether you're in your 50s and your 40s or especially in your teens.
I can share this because I did teach Evan a very useful tool when he was younger of how I handled bullies. And he implemented it in his life very early on. And to this day, he still uses it. And I love it so much. And I'm going to share it with you.
Please.
You might want to use it. So when I was teaching him about bullies, I said, listen, the thing about bullies is they're having a really bad day. Something happened possibly at home that made them have the yuckies inside. And what happened is their mom or dad could have yelled at them really bad. And it made them feel yucky. They go to school and they're carrying that yuckies with them. Now, what happens when we have yuckies, which also means crabbiness? We want to take it out on people. And when we take it out on people, we're passing those yuckies onto people because that's what we just do as, humans. We pass the yuckies. Now, the only way you can catch someone's yuckies is if you believe what they say. So if someone is calling you a bad name, instead of believing that bad name, I want you to feel sorry for them because they just got yuckies from somebody and they're trying to pass it on to you. So they're feeling really bad about themselves. So all you can do is feel bad for them and send them love. And I would teach that over and over and over. He comes home from school and he's probably in 7th grade. And he says, Billy had a terrible, terrible day at school today. And I said, why? And he goes, well, someone must have been really mad at him at home and gave him some yuckies because he was calling me horrible names today. And I felt so bad for him. And I was like, wow. That means he didn't believe what Billy said about him. And he felt bad for him and he sent him love. Yeah. And to this day, Evan still does that. If someone is mean to him in his comments, he says, I'm sorry you're having a bad day. How beautiful is that?
I wish more adults
right?
could do that.
Right.
And understand that hurt people.
That's exactly right.
At the period.
That's
you
right.
know?
So you're going to catch the yuckies by only believing what they say.
Yeah. No yuckies. No thank you.
No,
I love
thank
that.
you.
That's really going to help so many parents.
I hope so.
I started a Facebook group in 2017 called Parenting in a Tech World because despite me working at the intersection of parenting and tech, I was still struggling with wait, what do I do? Do other parents have their kids' passwords? And what age is Snapchat okay? And I needed help. And there's over 652,000 parents in that group now that are giving each other advice just like this.
Wow.
And so
what is that group?
Parenting in a Tech World.
That's great.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I love the fact that we can also post things anonymously too. So Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg go on there and post something very personal and nobody's going to know it's you. You know what I mean? I need that.
That's great.
But yeah, I love anecdotes like that because we are learning from each other. It takes a village.
It does.
Our parents didn't have to deal with this and we can't ask them for advice.
No, we can't.
No. Even when we go to our pediatrician's office, they're on the front lines.
Right.
They can't be 20 years ago, this is what I said. They don't know.
Exactly.
So
we're Gen X are trailblazers.
They really are.
We really are. But we're also blessed because we did have a foot here and a foot here. So it's I feel like there's never going to be another generation like us.
No.
Ever.
We are the only generation that can straddle two different worlds that changed humanity forever.
Exactly.
And have that perspective, which is why we need to capture all of it as much as possible.
Amen. Perspective is everything.
And speaking of you saying amen made me think of this. This is not a faith-based podcast. Bark is not a religiously affiliated company. We help to protect kids from all walks of life. But back to the screen time thing, I noticed that my phone was becoming my idol. And now what I do almost every morning, if I remember, the first thing I do when I pick up my phone is not check text messages, not check my Instagram feed, not listen to voicemail. I open my Bible app. I read the verse of the day because I'm like, if I can put God first, then everything else will fall in line.
Exactly what I do. I open up my Bible app.
Yeah.
My Bible study. I do a little test, a little reading.
Yeah.
It's great. It starts my day off correctly. Intention is everything.
Yes.
And that's what I also love about Bark. The intention of this company is so beautiful that it makes me want to scream from the rooftops. I mean, you're going to hear me more and more and more talk about this. You might get sick of me talking about it, but it kind of shocked me when I found out that a lot of people still don't know about this.
It's pretty crazy. I mean, there's, I think, over 50 million children in the United States. Somebody Google and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's around 50 to 80 million. And we help to protect over 7.5 million children now across the nation, across smartphones, apps, text, email, school-issued devices and accounts. But it's a lot. There's a lot. And that means there's a lot of people that still don't know that there's an option. And we give our we give our tech to any school in the nation for free. We had this app that thankfully you knew about and other people did. And we realized that this same tech could help to thwart credible school shooting threats, and bomb threats and bullying that's happened on school-issued devices and accounts. So we're just beginning to scratch the surface of the amount of protection that can happen, that is needed.
Absolutely. Are schools signing up for it?
Oh, in droves.
Great.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we're now working to educate specifically 4th and 5th graders too, because they need this education.
Yes.
So the things that you have talked about with your son, we are talking about with these kids and helping them learn how to use tech safer, because it really should be curriculum that's in every school.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's just, it's a long ramp up. And then the laws meant to protect consumers online haven't been updated since 1998.
Wow.
So, yeah. But I have hope. I have hope that the Kids Online Safety Act will be passed this year. And big tech will be held accountable, because don't get me wrong, I love Meta, I love YouTube, I love all these platforms that have allowed me to learn and connect and scale my message. But the way that they have let our children down it's not okay.
The thing is too, I see parents, granola parents that are, oh, my child will only eat organic. My child, paraben-free shampoos and organic soap and things like that. Yet there's no monitoring on digital.
I know.
And think about that. You're dealing with your child's soul. Yes, all those other things are important. I followed the same restrictions in my own house. But think about the importance of mental wellness, about spiritual wellness. You are setting your child up for success emotionally, mentally, and with confidence. Being able to learn how to navigate through the digital space at a young age, you will be light years ahead of even some adults right now. So the time right now for parents is to act immediately. If you hear this message, act immediately.
100% agreed. You had me thinking about how I was like, no, Jackson, like no red dye for you. Like let's make better choices. Yet I allowed him to have a PS5 in his room. Right. So it's like, wake up.
It's true. It's like, and we are inundated. Don't get me wrong. There's toxins from EMF. There's toxins. We're hearing about it constantly, but we tend to forget about the one that's in our faces constantly. The one, to me, that is honestly the most important,
the most dangerous,
is spiritually, mentally.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. You talked about our children's souls, and you're absolutely right. They're the canaries in the coal mine. They are one of the biggest experiments of human history. And I'm just thankful to be able to have this platform, that you joined us today to continue to raise awareness and spread the word.
Absolutely.
I would say the biggest argument that works on parents is but I don't want to be left out. They hear the dangers, they hear what we're imploring them to pay attention to, but they're like, my kid says all their friends already have this, and I don't want them to be left out.
Well, that's why you need the Bark phone. You need the Bark phone.
Yeah.
Because you're still giving it to them. They're still getting the independence from the bark phone. You're just being alerted of the dangers that are happening. To me, that's a no-brainer. You're giving them that. That's why having the bark phone just recently be released, it's like, no, that's your answer.
Right.
You're going to let them be part of the community. You're just going to be doing it under really smart safeguards. You're going to let them go in the alley downtown. All the kids are downtown in the scary city late at night. I know he's only 14, or she's only 14. No. You're not going to let them. You're going to protect them.
I love that. Thank you for that. I would say that it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing now.
That's right.
And I will also say that when you give them the bark phone, a safer piece of tech, you don't have to allow Snapchat just yet or Instagram just yet. Like, have your slow roll of let's figure out texting first.
Yep.
And I will also say that while you maybe don't want them to be left out of certain things, you actually do want them to be left out of the bullying, the predation, the graphic, violent pornographic content, the algorithmic addictive feeds. Like, you do want them to be left out.
That's right.
And you're a better parent if you do let them be left out.
Exactly. They do not need to learn about porn at age 9,
No.
10, 11, 12.
No.
I mean, 13. I can keep going.
Yeah.
It's scary because that actually happened to Evan with a child that came over with his phone.
Yes.
And Evan was introduced to porn way too quickly. And it terrified me because you had to have the conversation much sooner than you hoped.
Yeah.
So there's another thing of monitoring your children's friends' phones as well when they walk in the door.
Yeah, and being bold. I think so many of us walk on eggshells, like, well, I don't want to interject on somebody else's parenting style. You have to. Our friend Chris McKenna of protectyoungeyes.com says, your child is only as safe as their friend with the weakest digital rules.
Amen.
And
Yes.
so extend that olive branch, talk to other parents, be like, hey, there's a better way, there's a safer way.
That's right.
I'm not judging you because no parent is perfect. I'm trying to help you.
That's right. That's right. And even talk to, if you have a son, talk to the daughter's girlfriend because, like I said, there's a lot of nudity going on.
Mm-hmm.
And by talking to the parents of whoever your kid is dating, trust me, they're going to be grateful that you're educating them on the new devices that are available.
Yes.
They'll be like, oh my God, I had no idea. So be that person.
Yeah.
Offer them, educate them.
Yeah. Let's care less what people think about us and let's do what's best for our kids.
Well said.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Jenny McCarthy Wahlberg, it is such an honor to have you here today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Keep up the amazing work. Honestly, it's unbelievable. Thank you, Bark.